What's up, everyone? Welcome to my show. Um, little different, today. I don't have any packages. I do have, like I said, I have one coming in the mail. It still hasn't showed up yet. I don't know what's taking so long. This has come a couple days ago. Still hasn't shown. Um, but I've been getting a couple questions lately, and I guess the Q&A videos are the new rage. Whatever. This is basically just from some friends of mine that I've known for a long time. Uh, they're asking, when you get married, when you move in, what's the state of your collection, stuff like that. So I'm gonna use this as a little bit of a platform to answer their questions because like, oh, you should make a video. We watch your YouTube thing all the time, and actually that's one really good way to get in touch with my friends from New York and stuff like that. But anyway, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you want to ask, I figured what the hell. If you want, put them in the comments below of this video, and if I get more than 2 or 3, then I'll make a video about it answering anyone's questions. Figure what the hell, I might as well do a question and answer video. I like to jump on the bandwagon sometimes. But what's different about this is, like I said, I'm going to answer a couple of my friends' questions, but I'm going to show something that I found, which unfortunately is going to have to get tossed. It sucks, but it hurts me more than anything else because it's not really. Well, you'll see it. But anyway. Oh yeah, everyone's like I said, my friends ask me when I'm moving, stuff like that. Hopefully, like I said, this is just a whole big what if with my life lately. It's become a what if comic. What if we get a house? What if we have a dinosaur? What if we do this? But moving, as of right now, as it stands right now, it's what is it, August 20th. As it stands right now, we're still going to be moving in January, probably closer to the end of January. Hopefully, we don't know where we're going yet. The reason being is the wife and I, we have yet to start looking for a house because when you go to get your mortgage, they have to do hard inquiries into your credit. So when they do that, it actually hurts your credit. It makes your credit score go down. So rather than, constantly like, oh, let's try this, and it constantly screwing up our credit, we're waiting till like probably the end of October, which is like my due date, to have everything packed. Which talk about that in a minute. That shows a lot of things I'm going to show you, but we're going to do that and then start looking because if we can go the end of October. Go to the bank and see where we stand on mortgage wise, then we'll know if we're getting a house or not. And if we're not, then we don't have to worry about looking for a house because if we're not getting a good enough mortgage, we're kind of screwed again, which sucks because I told the wife, I said flat out, I was like, I only got maybe one major move left in me. I just can't do it anymore. Because moving is very difficult. If anyone out there has ever moved, you know how much of a real bitch it is. Especially when you have a lot of stuff. But try doing it multiple times. When you do it more than once, I've had times where I've moved like 6 times in a year. So it's a pain in the ass. It really is. It really drains you emotionally, physically. Everything it's annoying. But that being said, the rent here is getting way too high. But if we can't find another place, then we're going to have to try to tough it out over here, and we're really going to have to cut a lot of corners, which sucks to ask because the wife even, I agreed with her. We're both kind of on the same page with it. Was like, what's the point of moving, if we're not going to move into a house? But we also have the dog and the cat now, so a lot of places around here aren't pet friendly. So this place is, so it's kind of like you're kind of screwed, So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Another thing that my friend, when are you getting married? When you do this? Quite honestly, the wife and I are not really in. Years ago, we were like, hey, you know what? Let's have a big wedding. Let's have every, family, friends, everything. Do it right. But now, I guess, because we're just a lot older, we're just like, whatever. So we're actually thinking of getting married before we get our house, before we go to the mortgage, which will be very soon. Don't know yet. That's not a definite thing. So, I don't like to jinx it or anything. But basically what it's going to consist of is just going to the courthouse, getting paperwork. Her mom's going to be there. I guess, her brothers and sisters. That's pretty much it. They'll also, be witnesses as well. So it's kind of like, And I guess any of my friends want to show up, I'll let them know ahead of time. Be like, hey, if you want to come to North Carolina, it's pretty much what we're doing. That's about it. That's the sum of it. Maybe go out to a nice dinner later on, something. But the wife and I both basically agreed. We're just like, you know what, we don't have the money for a big wedding. We can't do what we wanted to anyway, and it's something. But it's not the real reason. I know the real reason we're getting married is so we can get more mortgage. But that's one of the things is that we were talking to the bank a couple months ago before they went into the thing. We were just asking questions, not into an inquiry. But we're like, yeah, because my credit's actually getting better, thank God. Finally, I've been paying my bills on time. I've been paying them more than the minimum. I've been, paying them off. So my credit's increasing. It's getting better. So the bank had said that if you're married, then my credit will work for her credit, so that we could possibly get a nice mortgage, because it goes off, the whole, it's a debt to income thing. So if her debt to income is bad and mine isn't, it'll boost hers up, if that makes any sense. So that's one of those things. So we'll see how it goes. So that covers the moving and the married thing. Now, as for the state of my collection, I was like, oh, show your collection, show your man cave again. I can't. There's really nothing to show, because I'm, like I said before, my whole due thing was I want to have everything done by October 31st, the Halloween. I know, interesting due date, because my job's going to get extremely busy by then. Well, it'll be busy before then, but it'll be really bad by then because of the holidays. And I'm just not going to have time to pack. So I actually, being sick, full out, whatever I had, flu, I don't know what the hell it was. I do feel a lot better now, though. When I was home for a couple days, I just did nothing but packing, which took a lot out of me. It almost knocked me on the ass a few times. The wife was pushing, you shouldn't be doing it, you should be resting. And probably should have taken her advice. Probably would have got rid of what I had a lot faster if I had, sat down and just relaxed. But because of my craziness, I got a lot done, which you can't see over this way. But like I said, state of my collection. I was looking at, again, you can't see it, but behind the couch over this way, there is boxes upon boxes upon boxes that I haven't touched in years, that go almost to the ceiling. And then in back of the TV over that way, there's another set of boxes that go all the way up to the ceiling. That some of them I haven't touched. Some of it's stuff I just boxed recently. And then behind me over there's like a little crawl space area, which has boxes I haven't touched in years. And I was like, you know what? My craziness, I was like, let me look through this stuff, because maybe there's stuff in there that I don't need anymore, that doesn't really mean anything, or I can get rid of, donate or whatever. And I was going through boxes, and I found two items that are that no one probably has in their collection, but they have to get tossed. Hang on, freaking throat, man, it's killing me lately. But unfortunately, it's got to get tossed because they're coming apart. They're basically breaking apart at the seams. Everything on there is not holding, and quite honestly, it could be a health hazard. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything in there, but there could be. So I took a lot of pictures of it, just for memory's sake. And I told the wife, I was like, because not that they really mean a lot to me, but I don't know. It's weird, the way I am. But I'll show you that in a sec. But another question like with that is, my friend's like, oh, you show your man cave again. I was like, there's nothing in the man cave, honestly. It's basically almost completely packed up. Only thing left up there is, which I probably should have brought down, but I finally got a chance to frame my Ninja Turtles poster with the signature. So maybe I'll show that on the video. I had an extra thing, and I was like, oh, yeah, might as well just do that, because I don't want it getting ruined. Only thing left there is a couple trade paperbacks. My comic books are all up there still, because I don't want the cat or dog destroying them. But everything else has been packed up. Like, I was going through stuff up there. Like I said, I have tons of boxes there in my closet that I haven't touched in years. And, of course, I moved a couple boxes forward on one side of my closet that I don't really even go near. It's kind of like where I stacked all my stuff where I wasn't going to mess with. And there's all my weapons. I'm like, oh, my God. I was like, there's all my ninja swords and everything from when I was in martial arts. I was like, wow. Oh, my God. Wow. They need a real stiff cleaning, that's for sure. Because I haven't seen them in, like, 2 years at least. But there was that. So, like, everything up there is basically cleaned out. Like, the only thing left up there, like I said, is a couple trade paperbacks, my TV. So my video game systems are still hooked up because, I have to go up and play that. But other than that, like I said, everything is pretty much done, and the comics are up there. But everything else is now down here, because I figured, if we're gonna move, it's got to come down here anyway. And the less I have up there to take down, the better off I'm gonna be. But a friend asked, like, how many DVDs do you have? How much of this do you have? Like I said, you can't really see it over there, but my DVD collection probably rivals. It might even be more than my comic book collection. I have to have at least 2,000 or 3,000 DVDs at least. I was going through it. Like I said, I opened up boxes. I saw so many DVDs I haven't seen in almost like a decade. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot I had that. Oh my god, I was going through all. Like I said, this stuff's gonna come into play with this stuff here, but I'll get to that in a sec. So it's pretty crazy, but that's all packed up. Like I said, I went through a couple boxes. I didn't go through everything, but I found a lot of old '80s toys, which I probably should have taken them out. I'll show you, but I was like, you know what? Let me just leave it in there, and I'm not getting rid of them. So I just packed it all up, and it's. I probably should have marked everything because that's what I did last time, but now I just like, whatever. So yeah, but let me show you this stuff, and then I'll tell you another little fun thing. But like I said, this might be hard to show because I don't know how it's gonna go. But like I said, unfortunately, this is something I did. Let me give you a little backstory on it so you have an idea. When I was living in Lindenhurst in New York, when I was a kid, through my junior high school years, when I was 18, you know how like girls get sweet 16 and stuff like that. When I was 18, my room that I had was just really like almost like a closet. Like that's basically what it was. It had a bed, it had a closet, it had my desk, it had my TV, and that was it. There was just really no real space, and I had like so much stuff, and like I had it all in the basement, and I wasn't too happy about it. So I asked my father. I was like, hey, you know what? If I graduate, that's the thing I threw. I was like, if I graduate, I was like, is there a way? Because I didn't think we were ever going to leave that house. I was like, is there a way possibly you could build me a room in the basement, and I'll make it my bedroom, and then I'll make the storage thing my old room. So he made a good deal. He's like, all right. He's like, if you graduate, he's like, I'll look into it, because my father owned his own construction company. He was amazing electrician. He knew how to do all that stuff. So it wasn't like you had to hire somebody, because he already knew how to do it. Which I should have learned a lot more from him, but I didn't. That was stupid me. But anyway, so I graduated, and true to his word, my father was many things, but he did keep his word when he said, hey, you know what? We'll shake on it. I'll give you my word. I'll do it. He did it. Went out, got all the stuff we needed. I told him what I wanted to do. I was like, hey, this is what I want to do with this side. Unfortunately, the basement was huge. My basement was huge. On the one side, there was the washer dryer, and there was like a little storage kind of closet area. And my mother's like, where am I going to? I was like, well, we're not going to mess with that side. So like when you came down the stairs, when you were coming down the stairs, you went to the right. That was my mother's side. And when you went to the left, that was my side. So my father put a wall up that basically split the basement in half, and then right when you walked down the stairs, he put a door up, so it made the bedroom and the wall. And that was basically it. Like, and we put up all sheetrock. He put up all, because I was like, I want outlets here, 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 and here. Because I have video games, I want to do this. He's like, all right, I want to do this here. So he set it up really nice. Unfortunately, I don't have any video or cameras because I didn't have anything back then. But this was in like '98, so there you go. So he set it all up. It was amazing. Like I had posters everywhere. I had everything set up. I was loving it. The only thing that sucked is he never got around to finishing the floor. So the floor was concrete, which was a bitch because it's like it always got really dirty really fast. And the other problem was the basement led to the outside. Like it had 2 trap doors. So there was a door that was in the basement that led out into the trap doors to open to go outside. So the door I always put up, like I put stuff up there to keep it locked, so if anyone ever did open the trap door, there was no way they were going to get through. I made a few booby traps here and there just in case they did get through, because I was, I guess, paranoid like that. But the thing that sucked the most is the water would come down, go through the door, and come into the room. So I had to use a sledgehammer and knock out a hole in the floor. And my phone was like, oh, we're going to get a drain, we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. We never got around to doing it, so there was always like this giant hole right when you walked down the stairs, which was a good booby trap in its own. But I'd always tell friends like, watch when you move, because And the other thing that sucked is we never put an electrical switch by that door, so when you came down the stairs, if you were coming in the apartment into the room, you couldn't turn the light on. You had to go across the room, which was dangerous. So my phone was like, well, I can't put a switch in there yet because we have to get the water. Because if I put all this stuff, he's like, that's where it's leaking. It comes in through the wall. Which he was right. You know, like I said, I'm not going to trust him. Um, so there was that. But the fall was like, you know, do what you want. Like I could decorate however I wanted. And basically, when you walk down the stairs, what I did originally scared the hell out of my mother. If you ever see the old Venom comic where it's just his face on the black cover and it kind of glowed in the dark, I did that. When you walk down the stairs, I spray painted the brick wall black and left the outline of Venom's eyes, the symbol, and his mouth. So when you saw it was cool because like when you opened the door, you would see it. Like it freaked her out. She's like, oh my god. She thought something was down there and she didn't know what it was. And I'm like, all right, yeah, all right. She's like, oh well, now that I know what it is, you know. But inside the bedroom, like I drew the hobgoblin on one of the walls. You know, I drew all this stuff all over the place. I had pumpkin bombs drawn all over the trap doors. I had like stuff everywhere. And that's what this is. So I'm going to show you. The hobgoblin thing I couldn't rip off the wall when I was moving. I just left it. I'm like, you know, it's too much of a problem. This was easy to get off because it was just, when you walk down the stairs, it was right there and you could just literally just pull it right off the thing. But I guess, like I said, sheetrock over time deteriorates, you know. And the problem is, like I said, I don't know what's in here. Like there could be mold in here. There could be all sorts of weird shit in here. So it sucks I gotta toss this because, like I said, it's kind of part of my history, and I love that room. It was a fun time in my life. You know, I mean, I liked that house. It was great, Lyndhurst. I loved being there. It was the first place I actually called home because I was there more than a year. Everywhere else I was gone within like a couple months, 6 months, a year if I was lucky. But that was the first and only place, well, not only place, but first place I ever called home because we were actually living there for a long time. I was there like 8 or 9 years, so it was like, yeah. But let me show you this. This is when I actually started, like, I was into artwork, but I wasn't great at it. Like, I needed a lot more work. And I kind of drew these fast on the sheetrock. I probably should take my time, because now I take my time, and stuff comes out a lot better than this. A lot of screw-ups on these, but let me show you. Like I said, this is part of my wall from when I lived in Lyndhurst for my 18th graduation, I guess, gift would be it, the room. Like I said, this I might be able to show you because it's not falling apart too bad, but I taped it to cardboard, and that's just a Nightcrawler drawing that I kind of copied almost from the Marvel Masterpiece Collection thing. Problem with this is I drew his head way too small to his body, so he kind of looks like the Beetlejuice character, you know, when his head shrinks. But as you can see, I did really good detail on the body. You can see his feet really detailed, the tail. Everything was really detailed well, except for like his stomach and his really, really tiny head. But hey, you know what? What can I tell you? Like I said, it sucks because this one's actually in pretty good shape. I was going to keep that one, but I'm like, you know what? Again, I don't know what's in the sheetrock. Like, there could be a lot of shit in there that could be really harmful. As you can see, I'm going to try to show you this one. This is the last of it, but it's coming apart as I'm grabbing it. This is just parts of sheetrock, and I really don't want the dog and cat to chew it. But this one was kind of like my pride and joy. So let me see if I can get, yeah, just say it's just coming apart. And there's no real point to keeping this. As much as I'd love to, I kind of look at it, I'm like, where am I going to put that? I can't hang it up because it would just keep deteriorating. I could wrap tape all around it, but like I said, my main concern is I don't know what's inside. I mean, there could be a lot of nasty shit in there, and I don't want to get anybody sick or die. I can already see, like, you know, stuff coming around the edges. And I figured, hey, you know what? Make a video with it. It'll be on YouTube for all the world can see forever, you know, or whatever. And I took a lot of photos, so, you know, it's still here in my mind, but the physical thing's going to be gone. This I'm going to try to show you. Like I said, this is the one, the worst out of all of them, because it's just breaking. But this is the Green Goblin. Of course, you know, you kind of see it, did all the sparks. Did a really good job on his glider. And the smoke coming out. Kind of see it's cracking all across the side. Got a lit pumpkin bomb in his hand up there. I don't know why he looks kind of like Jay Leno, but Leno Goblin, I guess. But I was just really impressed with the way I made the glider. Like, I took my time on that, and the glider came out really, really, really well. I mean, he didn't come out too bad. You can see all the screws. Put all the stuff. I mean, he didn't come out that bad. He came out better than Nightcrawler, that's for sure. But I just really loved the glider. But like I said, unfortunately, like you could see it, it's just rotting all in there. Everything in there is rotted out, and I don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to have to die from like black mold or something. You know, that could be in there. Who knows? Um, and it sucks. Like I said, I've been carrying this around since well, we moved in 2000. Well, I moved from there in 2000. So from 2000 to now, so 15 years it's been in a box. And, you know, I guess it preserved itself rather well. I mean, I tossed the box it was in because, again, like I said, I don't want to have any kind of health things. And I told the wife, I was like, you know, when I found it, I was like, oh, look what I found. She's like, oh, okay. And I was looking at it, I'm like, you know what, I can't keep this. And she's looking at me. And she's like, oh, why is that? Because I know she kind of wanted me to throw it out anyway because, like, I saw her point. I mean, she didn't say anything, but I could just see it. And I came to the conclusion myself anyway. I was like, you know what, where am I ever going to put that? You know, like I said, I can't hang it up. Like I could if I wanted to. If I really wanted to hang it up, I probably could. But I was like, it's all rotting on the inside. I was like, the outside is starting to turn. And I was like, and I kept telling her, I was like, the real problem is I don't know what's inside there, and I don't want us to get sick from it. And I was like, it's been, you know, in a box for 15 years. Who knows? You know, it's been in damp areas. It's been this, so it could have gotten a whole hell of a lot of mold. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in a big old trash bag. I might break it up a little bit more and just toss it because there's nothing I can do with it. So she was kind of, she wasn't happy. I mean, she's like, oh yeah, get rid of that stuff. But she was kind of like, oh, you made an adult decision. Yay, you can do it. I knew you could do it. Because she knows how I am with my stuff. Like, I'm very attached to a lot of my things. Just because they always bring back memories. So I'm kind of like, I remember that. I remember doing that. I remember making that room with my father, you know, every day. For like 2 months, we were working on that room, you know, together because he always had work. You know, he'd come home, he'd be tired, you know, so we had to wait till the weekend. And you know, that basically was my weekend. Like I didn't hang out with my friends for a while. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes my friends would come over and help. They're like, hey, you know, what can we do? I was like, all right, we can hang this here, and we're gonna do this there, and you know, but it was just, you know, it was a good time to hang out with my father for once, I guess. We weren't like at each other's throats, you know, and he was actually doing something nice. You know, he was like, hey, I'll do this for you. And it was fun. Like, you know, he blasted music. And he didn't, for the first time, he didn't care. Like, most of the time, my music he hated because, and I hated his music because it was like the oldies, which now all my stuff is the oldies. So it's kind of like, I knew that was coming around eventually. He said it himself, he's like, oh, your music's going to be old soon. When you get older, you're going to see, and you're going to see all the crap I'm dealing with. I'm like, yeah. But it was a fun time. But like I said, I took a lot of photos of it. And I made a video, so it's always going to be around, and it's always going to be in here and in here anyway. It just, I don't want it to be a health hazard, so I'm breaking up in pieces anyway. So, but there's that, and this is a long video, I know, but there's a lot of stuff I wanted to get off my chest to talk about. The other thing is, like, the wife and I were talking about, like, if we get a house, like, what if? We had this really big discussion yesterday because she was looking at all the boxes. And she's like, you know, you really should go through all of them and see what you can donate or what you can sell or what you can do because, you know, it'd be less for us to take out, which makes sense. Like I said, as of now, I didn't really mess with it. Like I said, I opened a couple boxes, I found this, I found a couple other things, and I closed it back up, and I'm like, you know, I'm not going to mess with it. But if that does happen, I might make a video showing it because, you know, I'll be like, hey, look at all this stuff. But she's like, what do you want to do with a house? Like, what is your plans if we got a house? Like, she's like, I want you to lay it out. I want to know all your stuff. Because she's like, because we have to figure this out. So I said to her, I was like, quite honestly, I was like, ideally, I was like, let's just say we get a 3-bedroom house. And I was like, what I would like to do, I was like, is make one room a movie guest room kind of thing. Like, I always wanted to have like a movie room kind of area and then like a comic book room. And she's like, what does that mean? I was like, well, basically, I was like, we take a room. I was like, I'd take everything movie related, the DVDs, the Blu-rays, I was like, the video games, like entertainment related, not just movie. All my movie statues, my movie toys, my movie posters, all your entertainment stuff, your, you know, things. I was like, put it in the room. I was like, well, I want to get display cases, you know, set them all up, make it look really nice, you know, just make it look better than I've ever made anything look before. Like, I want to do it the right way. The first time, the only time. And she's like, well, and I was like, and then we'll put the couch that's in the cave up there as the guest bedroom kind of thing. So, because chances are we're not going to have that many guests unless it's the holidays. So it kind of would double. You'd have a couch for the movie thing. You'd have the bed if anybody ever decides to, hiccups, and decides to come over and hang out. They'll have the bed, you know, they'll have the TV in there, plenty of movies, you know, hopefully we'll throw a cable box in there, I don't know. So to be all set up. Um, I was like, and then if we had another bedroom, like I said, I would like to put all my comic book stuff in there and make it an actual like man cave. Have my comic book related stuff, my comic books, my comic book posters, my comic toys, everything comic book related in there. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, one, she was like, originally you were going to get one room. She's like, now you want two. And I was like, well, you could see like how much stuff I have. So she was kind of like hesitant, and I said to her, I was like, if I get the two rooms, like the rest of the house is yours. I was like, you can decorate it however you want. Decorate the bathroom, the living room, the kitchen, dining room, whatever it is we have. So she's kind of happy about that. But then she's like, well, what if we have a kid? And I'm like, well, there's that what if again. Which could happen. You never know. And I said to her, I was like, well, if that happens, I was like, if I do have the two rooms, I was like, if that does happen, obviously you're not going to want to eliminate the guest room movie thing. I was like, so I'd have to eliminate my comic room. I was like, I'd have to be an adult and say, hey, you know what? We'll get rid of it. I was like, but it would make sense to get rid of the comic book room, even though that would hurt a lot. And she's like, well, what would you do? I was like, well, the thing is like, if I decorate it the way I want to decorate it, it would definitely double as a kid's room. Like, if you think about it, I was like, I'm sure my kids, kids, wow, going for two or more, kid or kids would probably hate comics by then because I'd have everything in there would be like, I'd have like, general stuff. But hopefully they'd actually turn out to love comics, or she would love comic, whatever, I don't know. And it might work out, but who knows. So she's like, all right, it's not bad. But ideally, I was like, what I'd really want, I was like, it's us to try to find a house that has a basement. As sick as that sounds. Because I told her, I was like, if we could find one with a basement, we've seen a few that have them, and it was really cool. I was like, if we could find one with a basement that we could finish up over time, I was like, I wouldn't mind taking the time to do it. I was like, then my comic book room and my movie thing would be in one spot. It'd be the entire basement would be that. And then I was like, and then you can make a regular guest room. If we had 3 bedrooms, regular guest room, you could have a kid's room, and we have our bedroom. So she's like, all right, well, so hopefully that's the ideal thing, is I'd love to get like, a bunch of display cases and just make it look nice for a change. Like now, the way I have it, like not that I don't like the way I had my stuff. You've seen the caves, you've seen them all, but most of the time it's always controlled chaos. Like it's kind of like nothing's really in any kind of an order. Everything's just kind of sporadic all over the place. And I don't know, I just kind of want to get everything together in like the one thing, like have all like my X-Men thing in one case, or have all my Avengers in one case, or have the movie posters everywhere, and just really cool stuff. Which, like I said, I've been looking through stuff, and I have so many posters that I forgot I even had. I'm like, oh my god! Like I have an old Spider-Man one from like the early '80s. I have like an old, oh man, I have like an old, what the hell was it? I have like a Gremlins poster. I was like, oh my god, wow. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's all speculation at this point. If we get a house. If. It's all if. What if. But if it does happen, that'd be freaking fantastic, because we'd finally actually, the wife and I would actually feel like we've arrived, like we finally did it. We finally made it to the, to the rainbow, to the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold. Like, hey, we finally got a house after 15 years, basically, of looking for a freaking house. Well, more like 10, I guess, because 15. We've been together. It'll be 15 years in January. We'll be together. It's more like 10, really. I mean, if you really think about it. And just every year, every time, it's always a slap in the face. It's always, you don't have the money to move, or you have the money to move, but you don't have the money for the mortgage. Or you'll get the money for the mortgage, but you won't have the down payment. You'll have the down payment, but they won't approve the mortgage anymore. They'll have this, they'll have that. It's always something. Which I'm sure this year will be no different. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to keep myself like, hey. But I'm also in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's probably not going to happen. Because all the money that I did save, I know, I'm just like, oh, you used your money for all that stuff you showed. No. That was like bonus money. All the money I saved, that the wife and I saved to put aside for the move, had to be used. The cat had to go to the vet. The dog needed to go to the vet. The dog had a couple of ear problems. We had to have that fixed. That cost a lot of money. The car started to go. We had to have the car fixed. So, like, all the money we had for the move as of right now is gone. So it's like, she's looking, she's like, here we go again. She goes, now it's gonna, I was like, well, dear, we got a couple months. I was like, we could still save. I was like, I'm not buying anything. I was like, I still have a little couple extra dollars here and there that I didn't touch, which isn't much, like $100, something like that. I was like, so we'll just have to do it again. I was like, we'll just have to, just do it. And it sucks because we've been killing ourselves lately with work. We're going in our days off. We're doing overtime. We're trying to get extra hours. Everything that we can possibly do to get the money we need to move. But it doesn't mean jack shit if we don't get a mortgage. So it's kind of like you're kind of screwed. Like I have to save. We have to get like $1,000 at least by October, which is doable. It's gonna hurt, but it's doable. Um, and I said to her, I was like, hey, look at it this way. If by some chance we go in October, we can't get a mortgage. At least we got $1,000. Get saved. But yeah, we'll see. It's all, like I said, it's all what ifs. But anyway, if you stuck through this entire video, thank you very much for letting me ramble, I guess, and getting some stuff out there. Like I said, I hope I answered a couple of my friends' questions. They can watch the video in peace and be like, oh, all right. But yeah, like I said, my grand hope would have enough room in a house to actually show you my entire collection in its entirety, because it's pretty sick. Like I'm not gonna lie, I have some stuff that, like I said, I even forgot I had, and it would just be nice to finally not have to live out of a box. I actually be able to have all my boxes opened and empty and put away, and have everything out and be like, hey, check that out. Because I love sharing my stuff on here. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. So that's the dream. We'll see. But anyway, like I was saying, if you have any questions you want me to answer or anything at all, put it in the comments below. And if, like I said, if I get enough of them, I'll make a video. If not, I'll just answer them on the comment thing. Figured what the hell, like I said, Q&A things seem to be the whole thing nowadays. But that will do it. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. I know it was really long, but what the hell. And remember, it's not the size of your cave that matters. It's what you have in it. Later, everybody.